4 trains could pass overhead on 2 separate decks. Today the lower deck has been taken out of service. Now just 2 trains can use the bridge, but that's not what makes it so interesting. Take a look at the bridge piers on either side. You might notice that those bridge piers are actually 2 different colors. Well, there's a reason for that. When the bridge was first built, it used to sit on the lower section of dark stone piers. That is, up until World War I, however. When the Secretary of Defense came through and said, "This bridge is too low. We gotta raise it up so that we can bring war supplies up and down the river." Well, when the Secretary of Defense says jump, you literally say, how high? You can see just how high they raised that bridge by checking out those piers. Using a series of pneumatic jacks, they raised the bridge up 1 block at a time, the distance you see. Now the craziest part about that story, though, is that they were able to do that without ever shutting it down to overhead train traffic. Quite the feat. Some people have said, "Aaron, how do you do that back then using pneumatic jacks, nothing more?" My only response is, I'm no structural engineer, but I would imagine very carefully. If you guys like lame jokes, have I got the guided 1-hour tour for you. So in a city with 446 bridges, it's pretty interesting to think about who pays for what, right? That could get expensive pretty quick. Well, you've got local bridges, you got state bridges, and you got federal bridges. The one just out ahead of us is the Veterans Bridge, a prime example of a federal bridge built to the Code of Federal Regulations. Now, a lot of people say this is the ugliest bridge on the tour. I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. But one question I do get pretty often is, what's up with those numbers over there to the right-hand side on the bridge? Well, those numbers actually are for the captain of a boat on the water. They tell me how much overhead clearance or air draft I would have if the water level were to come up. If the water were to come to the 40 mark, then I know that there are 40 feet from the surface of the water to the bottom of the bridge. Now that's a great feature to have, very helpful. But there's just one small problem here. The Veterans Bridge is one of the tallest bridges in the city of Pittsburgh. The ones on literally either side of it are some of the shortest bridges in the city. If the water level were ever to come up to those numbers, no boat of this size would ever get anywhere close to this bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, our federal tax dollars at work. Well, as we complete our turn here on the Allegheny River, I'm actually going to take a brief pause from my narration, give you guys a chance to stretch your legs and explore the boat. If you need the restrooms, once again, those can be found on the front of both the first and second decks inside. Also, make sure you stop down to any one of our 2 full